right. So then staying in Asia, you guys also just did a sonic rebrand for China Global Television Networks.
You're watching breaking news on CGTN.
Whole package, it looked like to me from the video I watched that it airs globally, so it can't just be a Chinese sound. So talk about how you compose that and what you were trying to accomplish with that sonic brand. And I'll start with you, Chad.
Right. So we had initially done a full brand relaunch, Stephen, probably about maybe 3.5 years ago. For the parent channel is CCTV in China out of Beijing. They've got 33 channels domestically, but they have a set of what they call their international news channels. There's Arabic, Spanish, English, Russian, and French, which is actually French Africa, so it's more African tones as far as the music, but it's a French channel. So we did a full rebrand, and Stephen and I did go back and forth to Beijing several times for that one, and that's a little intimidating because you're literally sitting in a room with 40-plus people, from the 5 channels, and the boss, and the boss's boss, and the boss's boss, and you have to take them through sonic melodies, and luckily we were teamed up with set and graphics teams, and we all came in together and presented collective pieces and concepts. So there are always visuals with the music, and it was presented in a very methodical fashion. But to your point, we had to develop a package that had just an international appeal, but we could also put some regional instruments over it depending on what type of show it was or what channel it was on. And one thing with these international channels is, like Stephen said earlier, you usually don't, the Korean thing was a little bit unusual because it was so region specific. But if you're looking at the middle, like the Arabic channel, you have to be pan-Arab. You can't be using an Egyptian loop and a Iraqi loop because, you've got to stick to the broad strokes. And with international music, it usually is a little more emotional music than high-impact music like we see over here, at least when it comes to news. So it was really a matter of coming up with a distinct melody they could share, some more emotive, more cinematic arrangements that allowed us to drop in little textures here and there across the board because it had to live on 5 different channels. With the rebrand, they changed their name from CCTV International to CGTN because they were basically just rebranding the 5 international channels to a name that made more sense to the world outside of China. And with that, we kept our same sonic brand mnemonic, but they were all new arrangements. And another initiative is they wanted to promote that they're digital, they're mobile, you can access all of these channels, multi-platform. So a big push was to make the music a little more modern, a little bit more digital per se, to have that appeal.
And then do you know how many pieces of music that whole project ultimately resulted in?
Between the initial project and this, there's probably 50-plus arrangements easily.
Yeah, because you're covering 5 channels, plus different kinds of programming, plus,
And all the promos and network channel IDs, too. So pretty extensive. But it's fun doing these international projects because each one is different and the instrumentation's different, and the way that you appeal to a different region. We were laughing when we went to Beijing because we worked with a German design company, and for the design they had to figure out, okay, what we call the unlucky number in the West is not the unlucky number in the East. This color means this in the East, but this color means that in the West. So you literally have to get into the culture and make sure that you're resonating in a way that makes sense in that part of the country or to that sort of region.